Thank you, everyone in the chat. I'm gonna have to put this in replay to skip forward. Okay. Oh my goodness. I should have checked that before. I just thought everything worked normal. Oh my god. This soundboard that I have to do. Don't show this again. I don't ever want to see changing. Thank you, everybody, for letting me know that I was on mute. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's see. I went to here. So what I was saying, how I started the video out was going, welcome on in. This week is a bit different because it's a team event. And with it being a team event, the sweet spot process kind of goes out the door. Because if we look, you know, the first golfers that I highlighted when I was on mute, they're in different buckets. And obviously with the sweet spot process, I talk about the bucket system. And with the bucket system, you know, it is our way to limit bad plays. Well, you can see with the first group here, Matt Fitzpatrick is with his brother Alex. Alex is on the DP World Tour. He does qualify in order to play for this event, but he doesn't play PGA Tour events. His stats are largely to do with his that he played here last year with his brother, and I think the year before. Matt, on the other hand, has played on the PGA Tour all year and has been a PGA Tour member for a long time. So his stats are different than Alex's stats. So when we go to the bucket system, a lot of these projections don't really matter. I was saying, like, you need to double the max projection, because when it comes to these golfers being in first, second, third, fourth, you know, whatever place, they double up. You know, you still only have 10 teams that finish inside the top 10. Well, most of the time. Sometimes you have more. Well, that includes 2 golfers per team, which means 20 golfers finish inside the top 10. Now, we could look at top 5 stats if we wanted to. We could come over here and look at this, but that doesn't really help us pick out a team because we are trying to select 6 golfers to put on our team. If we only look at top 5s, that just, it leaves, we're one short. And a lot of times if we are looking at top 5s, if I go to previous years, like there are several 9K golfers, 8K golfers, sometimes 12K golfers, you know, that fit inside the top 10, top 12. And if we follow like top 5 stats, we still can't, like, you wouldn't be able to make a lineup with a lot of these golfers. So essentially what I'm going to do in this video, we're not going over the bucket system. We're not really going over a lot of the SweetSpot stuff. I will give you a lot of data and information. I'll give you my feels, you know, when it comes to what teams are probably better to play than not. But just throwing it out there, you can't pick more than 1 golfer from a team, which obviously makes sense. DraftKings won't let you, but a lot of optimizers, kind of what I was pointing out, a lot of optimizers aren't built that way to kind of ignore that, well, not so much ignore, to include the team aspect of it. So what I was saying on my optimizer, which is available for anybody who wants it, I have this little section over here that has dupes and a team count. So you kind of have to manually look at this. So unfortunately, I don't have a way, because this is on Excel. Excel kind of has its limitations. I don't really have a way to prevent you from building lineups that have the same golfer associated with it, or not the same golfer, a golfer from the same team associated with it. So you will have to, if you're using the optimizer, you will have to look at this information right here. The information that I'm highlighting on the screen. So what it will look like is we'll hit Run Optimizer, and a lineup will be built, and it will provide the team name or the team number and how many golfers from that team that are in it. This little dupes portion of it will tell you if there are golfers from the same team being represented in your lineup. I don't know if, I mean, we can continue to run optimizer and pick different players, but let's say here, I'll just do it. I'll lock in 2 golfers that are on the same team. And when I hit Run Optimizer, I'm glad it broke. I didn't think it was going to break. Oh, you know why? Is because in here, okay. Let's do this one. You can't pick 2 golfers from the same group. That's why. But if we do it from the Marquee Tee Times, if we did this, you can see golfer, the second golfer in the list and the third golfer in the list are on the same team. And so therefore we have a dupe count. And yeah, there are 2 dupes. As long as this number, you know, you want this number to be 0. If it's greater than 0, then it's not good. You know, that's obviously not good. But I wanted to point that out. A lot of this video will be us just talking about what teams look best. We can't really use the bucket system like I was saying. And we can look into the Marquee Tee Times, but I've kind of already went over it before jumping on the stream and figured out that, you know, if we go back in previous years, we're just not going to see the Marquee Tee Times working that great with the this team event. So we'll get to that. I'll mention, or we'll go over that a little bit later. We are not going to go over the bucket system for the reasons that I had said. You know, with there being 2 golfers per team, how do you pick the right golfer to satisfy the buckets? I've learned this throughout the years. It just isn't going to happen. It isn't going to work out. You would really have to have, or, you know, divide by 2 for the minimum projection, and you'd have to multiply by 2 for the maximum, because again, there are 2 golfers per team. And if we're looking only at top 10s, like, this is only saying, hey, out of 10 golfers that you should pick, a max of this, a min of that. Well, it's really a max of 20 golfers that we're looking at. So just wanted to throw that out there for all of you guys. Just putting it out there that's kind of how this video is going to go. This is a live video or a live stream that will be posted on replay. So I got people in the chat. Thankfully, they let me know that I was on mute earlier. I don't know if I'm going to modify that or edit it afterwards, but yeah, appreciate everybody that's in the chat that let me know. Mike is muted. So anyways, AJ, good evening. Bryson, good evening. Joanne, Lombardi Lee, Nathan. I think that's everybody. How's it going? Lombardi goes, muted. For sure we can't hear him. He will look at the chat in a minute, hopefully. And I did. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, the chat was going by pretty crazy. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, this is going to be kind of a shorter video, despite the fact that, you know, I had to repeat myself because I was muted. Anyways, giveaway reminders. I'm just going to put them on the screen. If you want to know how to gain entries, go check there's a link in the description. Go check that link on how to get entries in this giveaway. I just don't want to spend, you know, 5 minutes explaining this every single video that I do. Go check out the link. Most of you guys already know. I'm giving away $5 for a weekly giveaway, a monthly membership to SweetSpot DFS for a monthly giveaway. That will be ran, I guess, 2 Tuesdays from now. 2 Tuesdays from now will be the monthly giveaway. We do have a weekly giveaway to do, so let's go ahead and do that. Put that up on the screen, and we can zoom in a little bit. We had 26 total entries. Nathan, I'm sorry, but you posted your comment today. If you want entries, you gotta do it the week before. You gotta do it before the tournament starts. Just throwing that out there. I appreciate the comment, but it doesn't do me any good. It is all about trying to engage the algorithm to help more people come to the channel. So just throwing that out there. Of course, we'll do roll calls in this video. We're probably going to do 1 roll call. I don't anticipate this being longer than, it's not going to be longer than 2 hours. That's for certain. Because we're not going over the bucket system. So anyways, 26 total entries. Here we go. Denny Berry, congratulations, Denny. I do believe I have your information, so I will look into it. $5 winner. He had 3 total entries and ended up winning the $5 giveaway. Congratulations, Denny. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. Oh, one other thing. This is still running. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. Almost to 1,000 subscribers. Once this channel reaches 1,000, I'm running this giveaway, which is $1,000 worth of giveaways. 2 $100 cash giveaways, 1 annual membership, and 1 lifetime membership to this channel. So, throwing that out there again. Well, I shouldn't say this. This isn't it isn't the same as the other giveaways I do. If you want an entry into this giveaway, go create an account at SweetSpotDFS.com. And then if you're not subscribed, do so, because that'll help us get to that $1,000 or that 1,000 subscriber goal. But for the monthly goal, we're only 9 subscribers away. So in 2 weeks, if we can get 9 new subscribers, I'll be giving away a t-shirt to go along with the annual membership. Or not annual, monthly membership. Jeez. Whew. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into this, and we'll start with the golf course and tournament information. I like to start out here to give us some data points to research. Now, again, this week is going to be a bit different. It's going to be a bit different because it is a team event. We can kind of look to see what past stats look like. The wonderful thing about this tool is we have a winner 1 and a winner 2, so you can see who the golfers were that were a part of the team. Now, I don't think the field size is 160. I put this in here just anticipating it was going to be 160. I didn't really look into the information. I saw that the field size didn't change earlier today, and I haven't updated it. But this is just a guess that it'll still be 160. I guess maybe it won't be, because they did, you know, this whole year they've been limiting field sizes. They probably did the same for this team event. Strength of field's 222. It's very low, very low. We don't have Xander, Patrick Cantlay like we have in the past. We don't have Rory and Shane. We have Shane, but we don't have Rory this week. So the strength of field is kind of on the low side, you know, almost down to the point where it was before it became a team event. So it is interesting. Now, again, these are all data points to use. If we want to go back down to the team event and just use 2017 to 2026, I would actually go and select all and then start removing the years up to 2017. And so there you have it. This is where the team event started. Your average winning score is 26 under. How in the heck are you going to really do research on this unless you're looking at team events? If you didn't already know, this team event, it plays best ball day 1 and then alternate shot day 2. This is how it's always been. Ooh, I need to change these. I just saw the team. We got to change the regulars to teams. My bad. But anyways, you will have best ball for the first day, alternate shot for the second day. A cut will be made, and then you follow that same format: best ball, alternate shot. Alternate shot, like a good score for alternate shot is like 4 under, you know, anywhere between 4 to 6 under. Most of the damage that these golfers are going to do are going to be on the best ball. That means each golfer plays their golf ball all the way through the hole, and you take the best score between the two golfers for that hole. Lots of birdies are made that way. Lots of eagles are made that way. TPC Louisiana is a short-ish golf course. It can be set up pretty short. There is a drivable par 4, I think just one of them. Yeah, here you go. I mean, all the other information is on the screen. Now, this is where I would tell you normally, hey, you can use these data points to then go and look to see who does well, you know, for these stats. The thing is, you're not going to find many tournaments outside this team event that are going to have that information. So therefore, it just really isn't going to help you out. I mean, we can go ahead and do that. This is kind of how I've always, you know, used this segment with the tournament and course information. So like if we went under here, you know, field size is 160. Let's just go ahead and put well, it's not 160. It's like 140, but let's go 132 to 160. That has a lot to do with the fact that, you know, most field sizes, here, let's just do 130. I don't want to confuse anybody with 132. 132 is typically a number that field sizes have been in the past. And then we can go winning score. We'll keep 35 under as one of them, but let's go 25 under to 35 under. Keep it here and then cut score from 13 under to how about 7 under? Then we can X this out, and maybe we want, like, look at this. If we sorted by strokes gained total, who are the best golfers? Look at all of the rounds of golf that these guys have. It's less than 8 or less. That's not a lot of events to put on our belt to look. We can go further back, but even when we go further back, we still only have a limited amount of events that fit this mold. If Tom Hoge down here has the most that out of a lot of these golfers, if I just select Tom Hoge, you can see American Express ends up being the only event that fits this mold with scoring. Makes sense? I will say this. This wouldn't equal 24 rounds. I must be missing a golf tournament in there somewhere. A tournament that doesn't have salary information, because that's kind of, when there isn't any salary information, results don't show up in this box. So I assume, I wonder if it's the Barracuda the one that's played in Lake Tahoe, that event that goes really low, that weird Stableford format. I am imagining that must be it, because it'd be 4 rounds, 4 rounds, 4 rounds, 4 rounds. You do the math, that's 16 rounds of golf, and it does not show up. Oh, if we put in rounds, I actually have, yeah, it's the Zurich. It's the Zurich and the American Express. Interesting. I'll have to figure out why it's not showing up under totals, or event, I should say. Huh. Well, that's good to know. So under round, we're not using salary information. That's why. Okay. I'll have to figure that one out. I don't know what's going on there. And the score. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Either way, here you go. Here's kind of a breakdown. It's the Zurich and the American Express. That's kind of the only 2 tournaments that fit that mold when it comes to the tournament information, with the average winning score and the cut score. Like, it's difficult, ladies and gentlemen. It's difficult to handicap this week because you have 2 golfers on a team. It's all about how well they gel together, how well they play, how well they ham and egg it. I'm sure you're going to hear that throughout the industry, because that's a true, that is true when it comes to these types of tournaments. I've played in these types, not PGA wise, but being in an alternate event, or just like a double format or a triple format where you have best ball, scramble, and then alternate shot. It all comes down to when someone's off or someone doesn't quite have a good birdie look, does the other golfer fill in and make those birdies? That is difficult to handicap. There is no way you're going to accurately do that, because you just don't know how it's going to end up out there. The best you can do is just find golfers that kind of have really good low scoring tendencies. Let's put it that way. So, like, for instance, Tom Hoge, and this is one thing I apologize, I don't have this information on the cheat sheet. So if you were to go into the cheat sheet and take a look, the one that's on the website I won't have, but the one that is under the Google Sheets does have this information. So here we go with, this is this week. If we look for Tom Hoge, just remember that salaries are together. Hoge is playing with Billy Horschel. So just remember those 2 golfers are together. Also, by the way, if you don't want to use that cheat sheet again, there's this one right here. If you click on that button, this will open up the cheat sheet that I have. And guess what? There are team numbers that are associated with each of these golfers. So if I wanted to do a Control F and find Tom Hoge, or I guess let's just put Hoge in, we can come down here and we can see that Hoge is a part of the same group, or he's on the same team as Billy Horschel. Going back to the stats I was just looking at, like I said, there's Tom Hoge right there. We'd want to find, I mean, I guess what we could do is go by salary, top to bottom, come down to where Tom Hoge's price tag is, right here, and look at his playing partner, which is Billy Horschel, 0.766. That's pretty good. You know, under these criteria, it's probably middle of the pack, I guess, when it comes to this. There he is, right here, Billy Horschel. That team seems like a pretty good team to select golfers from. Couldn't tell you where on the list he is. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to Taylor Moore. If we go just underneath Taylor Moore. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 to Chris Kirk. Then under Chris Kirk, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So Billy Horschel is the 26th ranked golfer under this criteria. And then Tom Hoge obviously is like 8th on the list. I bet you won't find a better team than those 2 golfers together. It is worth noting, I just saw this, Adam Hadwin, I think, is on an interesting team. $6,800. I mean, if you're looking for some savings, he is playing with Adam Svensson. So if I went back try to find Svensson in this whole thing. Maybe he's just not going to be that great. Here, I guess let's go 6,800 and down. Svensson actually loses strokes gained total, so not super great in these scoring events for Adam Svensson. Did finish 32nd here last year at the Zurich Classic, but on his own, not super great with the American Express. Again, those are the only two tournaments that fit this criteria. So anyways, those are ways you can use the tournament information that comes with the tournament stats tool at SweetSpotDFS.com. We went into the golf course stats, Zurich Classic, the TPC Louisiana. We have another Pete Dye golf course. I did say it was a short-ish golf course. It's kind of pretty much average, 7,400 yards, a little bit north of average. We do have an overseed again, but it's like it's a different Bermuda that's an overseeded on top of the old Bermuda. Actually, that's not true. The only overseed are the greens, POA Trivialis. Yeah, disregard what I just said, but POA on the greens versus they typically have Bermuda on the greens. And that's why if you went to this cheat sheet, you're not going to have any grass stats. You're just going to have Pete Dye stats. So I'm just doing the Pete Dye thing again like I did last week. So, well, okay, I will update this. Matt Fitzpatrick should have Dye stats. So too should Alex Fitzpatrick. I don't know why their names didn't show up. I'm assuming it's a Matthew type of issue. Like sometimes my data looks at Matt and sometimes it looks at Matthew. But that's the Google part. That's the Google Sheets part of it, not the website. So I'll have to go back and double check that. Brooks should also be in there. I don't understand why he's not showing up. So yeah, I will take a look. I will take a look at that, but that is what I am using for, you know, the golf course. I'm not using any of the grass stats. You can certainly look at the shot shapes and see which shot shapes are beneficial here, which ones are preferred. Again, not necessary, but preferred. And then you can look at the scorecard down here with the shot shapes that, again, are preferred versus not. I'm not going to get into this, I guess. I don't, you know, Pete Dye, you could certainly use that for a stat. I'm going to clear all filters and then I'm actually going to zoom this up to 2025. And then under grass stats, actually, let's go under course stats and put architect of Pete Dye. So we do that. And again, sort by strokes gained total, top to bottom. Look at that. Brooks Koepka is actually at the top. That's only 4 rounds of golf. That was the Players Championship this year. So you might want to zoom this out to, you know, a little bit later, 2021 and after, and you'll see different golfers are up there. Lots of AK golfers, by the way. If this was a time to build a balanced build for your lineups, probably the best time to do it. You have Matt McCarty up there with 19 events under his belt. Hao Tong Lee is up here. I don't see the same price tag for golfers up here. That would be pretty crazy. Zach Bouchot, by the way, is, I think, a Louisiana native or went to school at LSU. I know he has played this event a lot in the past. Or at least he did when he was younger? I guess not. Never mind. Man, I swear to God, I remember him being from Louisiana or he went to school at LSU, one of the two. But yeah, here you go. Here are your best golfers. You know, even when I go further back, I don't really care to go further back. Let's just do 2021. Matt McCarty, Hao Tong, Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark seems like a good play this week. You know, a lot of people don't really care for Wyndham Clark, but seems like a good price tag. I'm not seeing any golfers the same price tag, meaning they'd be on the same team. Shane Lowry and Brooks. Okay, this was just going back to 2021. Where did Brooks go? Do I need to include just a little bit earlier in the year for Brooks to pop up? Yeah, there he is. 10,000 Brooks. 10,000 Shane. So, hey, $10,000. That is fairly cheap for a decent team. Carson Young at 69. Taylor Montgomery at 64. He's back in the field. 8,100. Keith Mitchell. I was just seeing if there's another golfer in the same team. Christian Bezuidenhout is not playing with Eric Cole despite having the same price tag. He's playing with I think EVR, or there's another South African he's playing with. I can't remember who it is. Blades Brown, by the way. Ooh, I'm liking Blades Brown this week. I forget who he's playing with, but that is a good golfer to put in your lineups. In fact, using the optimizer, make sure there's no no's that are put on here. But if I run optimizer one time, Blades Brown is in that optimal lineup. Blades Brown. I think who is he playing with? Luke Clanton, by the way. Luke Clanton. Hey, I don't hate it. I don't really care for Luke. I think Luke's been struggling a lot, but Blades can get hot on his own. So that'll be interesting. It'll actually be really interesting, a lefty and a righty. I think Blades is a lefty. I think he is. Maybe, maybe not. Anyways. Okay. So those are ways that you can look into the golf course and the tournament information. I'm going to move on to, well, I'll look at the chat here, but I'm going to move on to the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups because I think that's going to be the more interesting thing to look at this week. So looking at the chat, I think it said hello to everybody. Michael Kennedy, what's going on, man? Nice to see you. What do I think about the Sweden team of Nyholm? He is playing with Jesper Svensson. So here's the thing. We could look at each one of these golfers under the same, under the same filtering that we just did with, scoring and or Pete Dye information. They are at $7,300. So if I scroll down to $7,300, there they are. Just under Pete Dye type of golf courses, not great. But that's the thing. This is a team event. Maybe their synergy golfing together and just being together will actually make them better, to play, to have as partners. I'm going to go ahead and put this to 130 golfers to 160. We'll use the old filtering that we did, minus 25 to minus 35. Actually, let's go minus 22. Feel better just doing like minus 22. Should add us enough. Okay, we'll close that down and zoom this up to 2021. And if we look, yeah, so the unfortunate thing is Pontus has played the Farmers Insurance Open and the American Express under these conditions. Those are the only events that he has played. He is a better golfer today than he was back when he played the American Express and the Farmers Insurance Open. So when it just comes to stats, and this is the other big issue with all of this week, you almost can throw it out the door because, one, Pontus is a rookie on tour. Despite Jesper Svensson playing several events that date back to 2025. Okay, so Jesper doesn't look super great. Did he play the Zurich last year? Yeah, he played the Zurich. I couldn't tell you with whom. Was not good. Was not great at the Zurich. Let's just put it that way. Let's put it out there. Not great at the Zurich. I don't even know how the stroke gain stats. I get this from Data Golf. I do not know how they're calculated for the individual golfer, because they're not, you know, again, they'll best ball it Thursday and Saturday, but they're alternate shotting it Friday, Sunday. I don't understand how you could get a good grasp of strokes gain stats. Anyways, their stats don't look great. If you want to make the argument, hey, could this team be good? Yeah, they hit the ball pretty far, I'm pretty sure. Like if I clear out all the filters, bring this back up to 2025, and we take a look at Pontus, and we look at his driving distance, it's well over 300 on a lot of the events. Yeah, some of these are at 280, but again, those are probably at golf courses that you club down at, and when driving distance is, you know, calculated, it depends on which hole that they're keeping track of the driving distance on. So he hits the ball pretty far. Jesper also smashes the ball. So just based off of their Bash Brothers, you know, synergy that way with the distance, seems like a good play. It'll always come down to putting. That's how these scoring events end up working out. I don't even know how good these guys are on putting. Jesper's a negative putter and Pontus is a positive putter. So maybe Pontus can help out Jesper when it comes to putting, but you know, I don't know. Those golfers, not too sure. You like Nyholm, not the other guys so much? Yeah. Is this a bomber's course? It can be. There's let's see. How many holes do we have water in play? There's 8 holes where water is in play. Yeah, that's well, some of those are the par 3s from memory. Some of those are the par 3s. Yeah, I mean, there is definitely there's cause for concern. Just searching for golfers that bomb the ball, or just trying to put golfer like a bomber team together. We can look at previous leaderboards. I think that's probably, actually, hold on. What a lovely tool to incorporate here. The lead-in stats. The lead-in stats, this is one of my favorite tools. One of my favorite tools. Because if we go into strokes gained last year and we take a look at the golfers at the top of the leaderboard, these are all your teams, basically. All of these golfers that are together with the same price tag. So let's go finish. Let's sort this like that, and then we do salary. We'll do salary top to bottom. There. Now I think we should have the teams, the same teams. So Novak and Griffin won. Griffin was, you know, break even off the tee guy. Novak, not really that many. I mean, good. Let's put it that way. Good. But look at these other golfers. Nikolai and Rasmus. Now, they bomb the ball. Don't get me wrong. Both of them do bomb the ball, but their stats heading into this event were negative off the tee, meaning they didn't really hit the ball very straight. Frankie Sappin and Jake Knapp. We all know Jake Knapp hits the ball pretty far. Actually, you know what we should do? We're kind of gonna do this both ways. I am going to let's go. We're gonna look at the year leading up. So we're gonna go 2024. Make this like a 4, probably here, 418 to, we want this to be 2025. And we want this to be somewhere in April. Is it the 24th? Okay, so the 24th has the Zurich. Yep. I want to do the event. So I don't want the 24th. I want the 17th. There we go. Let's do that. So this is 1 full year's worth of data heading into the Zurich Classic of 2025. So we're basically looking at this tournament right here. And I'm going to go ahead and put it by event. So we do this, I guess just for Andrew Novak. Never mind. I think we actually do need to put this information in. I'm not going to be able to show you the thing that I want to show you. I was going to try to look at driving distance versus off the tee, strokes gained off the tee. You see how like all these stats right here have driving distance? So if I were to like say put in Andrew Novak, we can look what his driving distance was heading into the event. But unfortunately, actually, I could do it this way. Højgaard is a name. Let's just look at both Højgaards, Nikolai and Rasmus. Actually, let's look at one of them. Let's just do Rasmus first. So this was heading into last year's Zurich. I'm just going to go by event because this will be easier. And we can look at driving distance. Yeah, driving distance, he smashed the ball, but the driving accuracy wasn't super great. I mean, he's barely there. They both were barely negative. That's so interesting. I don't know if my stats line up. Okay, Andrew Novak and Griffin. Let me double check here. Novak and Griffin. If I drill down on Novak's name. Oh, it is actually the exact same number. Plus 2.7 minus 0.004. So I could do this and we can look at driving distance this way. It's not super great, you know, because this is the summary of this week's field. So this week's field is sorted up here. So if I were, because the Højgaard brothers are not in this tournament, their summary box doesn't come up here, but we can look to see what their driving distance heading into the event was. And then their driving accuracy. So I'm sorry, long-winded way of saying, hey, those Swedish guys that Michael Kennedy was into, go ahead, play them. Like last year, or just any of the bombers. I guess bombers, or at least, okay, hold on. I only looked at 1 year of data, and I only looked at 2 golfers. Man, I should put another button here that allows you to look at miscellaneous stats. That's something I need to add because I want to look at their driving distance, like their average driving distance heading into this week, their average driving accuracy. That would be good to see. Strokes gained off the tee incorporates all of that, but like Jake Knapp, we know bombs the golf ball, and he had a negative off the tee stat heading into this event. Carl Phillips, we know bombs the golf ball. Michael Thorbjornsen bombs the golf ball. But they're all negative stats because they probably were a bit crooked. Actually, this is what we're going to do. Here we go. Does Novak bomb the golf ball? No, I think he's pretty average. This is just eye test by me. You're just going to have to trust me or not. Novak, does he bomb the golf ball? No, but he hits it far enough. It's about average. Ben Griffin, it's about average. Nikolai and Rasmus Højgaard, they bomb the golf ball. Sapin has he does not hit the ball far whatsoever. It's one of the lowest on tour. Jake Knapp hits the ball far. Carl Phillips hits the ball far. Thorbjornsen hits the ball far. Henrik Norlander, I think hits the ball far. I mean, the guy's like 6'5", like 6'3", 6'5", somewhere in there. It'd be really weird. It'd be like a Brendan Todd situation, being that tall, not hitting the ball very far. Luke Liss hits the ball far. David Lipsky and Dylan Wu do not. I couldn't tell you about Dixon and Trace Crow. I have no idea. Negative off the tee stats, I don't know. Ramey doesn't really hit the ball far. Justin Lauer is one of the shorter ball hitters. Celinda and Velo, they hit the ball far. You can kind of see their off the tee stats were pretty good. Phillips doesn't really hit the ball far. Bridgman doesn't really hit the ball far. Thornberry and Buckley. Buckley hits the ball far. Thornberry, I don't know. Then you got Rory and Shane. Obviously, Rory hits the ball far. Shane's pretty average. Bryce Garnett's pretty average. Sepp Straka is a little bit north of average. Hadwin, kind of a short ball hitter. Nick Taylor's a long ball hitter. Goddard and the Daywalker. Obviously, we know Goddard, smashes the golf ball. And I think Danny Walker is just north of average. If we go to 2024, we look at Rory. Rory bombs the golf ball. Shane doesn't really. Average, north of average. Ramey doesn't really hit the ball super far. I think it's just north of average. Martin Trainer used to bomb the ball. Maybe we would still consider Martin Trainer a bomber of the golf ball. Hubbard, pretty average. Brem, he's a big boy. I don't know if he hits the ball far or not. Higo, yes. Ryan Fox, he hits the ball far, and he has negative off the tee stats. That's just probably because he's crooked. Grazerman hits the ball far. Nico, not so much. Paul Barjon, not so much. Stevens, I think, does. Fishburne does. Blair does not. Bobby Mack does. Dietrich does. Hadley, not really. Sig, not really. Hadwin, not really. Nick Taylor, yes. And then you got the Fitzpatrick boys down there. We go into 2023. Davis Riley doesn't really hit the ball. Like, he's not considered a bomber. Nick Hardy, yeah, he's north of bomber, or north of average, I should say. Hadwin, there's Adam Hadwin and Nick Taylor again. Hosler, Wyndham Clark, we would call him a bomber, not so much Hosler. Catley and Shoffley, yeah, they hit the ball far. Neesmith, not so much. Taylor Moore, yeah, sort of. Mitchell and Sungjae, north of average. Siwoo, north of average. Tom Kim's about average. Brandon Matthews, he used to bomb the ball from memory. Sean O'Hare, he was an old guy. Well, oldish. He's probably my age when he played this event in 2023. Matthias Schwab and Vince Norman. Vince Norman used to hit the ball pretty far. There you go with Ramey and Trainer. Burns hits the ball far. So it's a mix. Yeah, kind of to go with what AJ was saying in chat. It's a mix. It's a mix of bombers and not. So, and that's, you know, again, that's how I would also look at every single week, right? You all know I do this every single week. We mix and match golfers, bombers and non-bombers. All right. Thanks for the questions. Let's go ahead and get into the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. Okay. What's interesting is last week at the RBC Heritage, all three lineups that I keep track of, the GPP, the optimal, and the SweetSpot optimal, all three of them, 10.98.776. We got back to the 10.98.776. And that kind of made sense, right? I think that's what we talked about for last week. That is the most common lineup build. Most of you guys know what this segment is. Some of you guys may not. I keep track of three different lineups that I just mentioned: GPP winner, optimal, and SweetSpot optimal. And I just keep track of how often they occur, or what the salary builds are for each of those lineups. At the Zurich, we can go ahead and put the Zurich Classic in. Your most common lineup build is a 10.98.776, followed by a 10.98.777. It just falls right in line with what I was just talking about. 10.8, 3 sevens and a 6. That's pretty, it's somewhat similar to the 10.98.777. Is this an optimal lineup? It's an optimal lineup that left $3,700 on the table. Yeah, we don't care for that. Here's a SweetSpot optimal, 10.88.776, just like a 10.98.776. This one is a 10.88.876. This was a GPP winner back in 2023. 3 8Ks, a 10, a 7, and a 6. 10.9, 2 7s, and 2 6s. That was a GPP winner last year that used, that used Rory McIlroy in that lineup, believe it or not. Although Rory finished 12th or 10th, somewhere 10th, 11th, 12th, something around there. 2025, your SweetSpot optimal was a 10.9, 3 7s, and a 6. So there are two lineups that do not have a 10K golfer in them for the Zurich. One in 2023 was an optimal lineup that left $1,000 on the table. The other one was an optimal lineup in 2025 that left $2,000 on the table. So no lineup outside of an optimal lineup that left lots of money on the table. Outside of those two lineups, every other lineup used a 10K golfer. Started with a 10K golfer. Most of you guys are like, okay, well, what's the significance of that? Well, if you went into the bucket system and you look at the Zurich Classic, I know I said I'm not going to talk about the bucket system. We're not talking about any of these numbers. Again, too difficult. Not even going to worry about that. Here's the beautiful thing. You can scroll down on this page and we can look at the salary range here. We can use this filter, or we can select a bucket and we can go to 10Ks. So we can just select 10K golfers. And we're going to see all of the 10K golfers from each of the years. Apparently, I don't have 2025 in here. That's great. I'll have to look into that. I have no idea why 2025 is not included. That's some weirdness. I'll look into that. I haven't. This bothered me on the spot, and you know how I get. I want to troubleshoot it right now. Hi. Whatever. Okay, so just looking at 2024 and beyond, we can go to 2025 in a different tool, but you can see there were 4 10K golfers last year, or in 2024. There were 4 in 2024. We can actually, let's do this by year like this. Really? There's nothing in 2025? It's so crazy. So weird. 2024. There were 4 10K golfers. Teams. 2023. We also had 4. 2022. We had 4. 2021. Looks like there were a lot. That's nuts. Holy moly. There were really that many in 2021? Insane. You could also go like sort by salary this way in the lead-in stats. Oh my God, there were. Holy crap. Oh my God. Look at all the 10K golfers. Wow, were there 5K golfers? No, there were 6, just regular 6K golfers. Wow. That's insane. Oh my God. I did not even know this. Did not even know this. That's nuts. Anyways, going back to the bucket system. So, okay, there's been 4 or more 10K golfers. If we go to the cheat sheet, go to this one up here, we can look at how many 10K golfers we have this week. Just 2. There's just 2 10K golfers. So when we go and we look at these historic salary builds, we've had at least 4 or more teams that were 10K and above. 4 or more. We only have 2 this year. And again, looking at the bucket system, when we look at each of these years, we can also see what their other finishing positions were. Rory and Shane won that event in 2024. Cantlay and Xander finished 23rd. Kitayama and Morikawa finished 23rd. Those are not going to be good enough for you to get it done. 2023, we had 2 groups from the 10K and above range that finished inside the top 10. That's good to know. It's a 50% top 10 rate. We go to 2022. We had 1 group finish first, the other group finished second, and then 21st and 29th. That's again 50% hit rate. 2021, that doesn't, I mean, that's difficult, right? And then 2020, I don't have salaries for 2020. So for the limited information that I have, actually, let's look at 2025. Pull up 2025, and our salaries are right here. We had what, 1, 2, 3, we had 4 10K golfers and above again. Neither one of them actually were good enough, but I will note that Rory was in the GPP winning lineup. So if I actually use this tool, pass optimal and GPP winning lineups, I go ahead and put in the Zurich for 2025, and we look at just the GPP winning lineup. It's going to include all of the golfers for the groups, but it's just to show you what the groups were. It was Rory or Shane. You could pick either one. Rory or Shane, Novak or Griffin, Phillips or Bridgman, Norlander or List, Celinda or Velo, and Lipsky or Wu. That's a 12, 4, 97, 76, 72, 68, 63. I don't know exactly what the GPP winning lineup was. I guess what I could do, I don't know if I even have it under here. Because they would, I do actually only, okay, so they didn't use Rory, they used Shane. It was Shane at 12.4, Novak at 97, $7,600 Bridgman, $7,200 List, $6,800 Kevin Velo, and then $6,300 David Lipsky. So that was your GPP winner last year. So it's still use a 10K golfer. It's just, I guess how I would use that for this week. We do have two 10K golfers, two 10K groups, I should say. Both of them are pretty good. Shane Lowry has been pretty good at this event, being on a team. The Fitzpatricks, I mean, Matt is, you know, both, you can make the argument that both of the Fitzpatricks are playing their best golf of all time right now. Alex got a win on the DP World Tour 1 week after Matt Fitzpatrick got his win at the Valspar, and that was within a month ago. So we could say that they are the hottest team coming into here, but that also could be a trap for everybody that's playing this week. Maybe this is the week to not play Fitzpatrick, either Fitzpatrick's, and go Koepka Lowry, or you just skip the 10K range altogether. I think, as different as this would be, if you wanted to play both 10K golfers, if you're making a lineup of 10, or if you're making 10 lineups, if you are making 10 lineups, I would only put one lineup together that had both 10K groups in it. Doesn't matter which golfers those are. That's it. It's like a 10%. I would not even go that route. I don't think that's the smartest way to go. So, up to you guys though. Again, you can use these tools at SweetSpotDFS.com. You know, looking at the historic salary builds. I'm not even going to look at other events. I'm not even going to look at any other type of filtering. Nothing like that. Just keep it on the Zurich. I think that is absolutely fine. If you want to go and look at each of the, you know, each year where whatever the GPP winning lineup was, I have this sorted on salary right now, so you can kind of see how a lot of those lineup builds look like. But yeah. This is available for you guys. Again, the bucket system, it's just my way. I like to use this just to look and see, you know, it's filtering out what you want to look at. You know, 10K golfers, I currently have that filter in here for the salary buckets. If I just want to look at 10K golfers, another way to do this is just to go 10,000 as the minimum right here. That also shows you all the 10K golfers, just using the salary range. If you wanted just to look at the $9,000 range, you certainly can do that. I just go 9,000 to 9,900, and you can see how they all played, and then you just go throughout all the years yet again, and just see which line, you know, which golfers they were. You can use these different view buttons, like if you want to look at their strokes gain data. This is their 365 days prior to playing in this event. What were their strokes gain stats? Just throwing that out there. You could certainly use this. Might be beneficial to you, may not be. But yeah, lots of ways that you can, you know, you can research this event. At the same time, I'm going to continue to say this. I'm just going to pump your brakes. I'm going to pump everyone's brakes. It's a team event, you know, kind of have to, let me be ultra real with you. I think this is the week that I only play 10 lineups. I normally play 100 lineups. I don't care. I'm not gonna like, I just, it's this week. If you wanted to make, or if you wanted to call it, you wanted to call DFS a gamble, this week is definitely a gamble. Unless you've got team stats, which I just don't, with 148 golfers in the field, 74 teams, I don't even understand how you could even skillfully put a lineup together. This would be like, you would definitely want to look at ownership, like projected ownership, and maybe do your fades that way. That's like the only part of this week where I could find it to be skillful. Otherwise, it's just, it's all feels, man. It's whatever you think is correct. Because I will even say, and the lead-in stats is what's really gonna help you understand. Like, if we go finish, let me do this, finish, and then salaries like this. If you look at what these golfers' recent form stats are and what they're coming in with, this is all like bad golf. The pink here, as well as the just as an instance, Nikolai Højgaard last year was coming in with 4 missed cuts. He was averaging a missed cut for his recent form. Then you had Rasmus, who had 2 made cuts and 2 missed cuts. Nothing better than 32nd place. Novak was coming in with some good recent form. Ben Griffin really wasn't. He had a top 20, but he had 2 missed cuts. Look at all the missed cuts. All the 85s under these stats right here are all missed cuts. And all that the recent form is doing is averaging out. You know, it goes back 7 weeks. That's why you can see, you know, -7. It's just averaging out all their finishing positions. No one's better than Novak, 41.83. That's with 2 top 5s, 2 missed cuts, and 2 middle finishes. I don't, you know, one of those terms that I think is really funny to use is signaling. There really aren't many signals that come with some of these teams, like golfers that you'd want to pick. You know, like for instance, Ryan Fox in 2024 was playing with Garrett Higgo. Fox was coming in with some of the worst recent form. You know, he had 3 missed cuts, a 78th and a 38th. The 78th was most likely a no-cut event where he finished dead last. That's most likely what that was. Garrett Higgo coming in with 232nds. He had a withdraw in there, a 69th and 85th. He had a 4th place finish the year before. So he was coming in with decent quote-unquote course history. But like a lot, this is just, if we sorted by just recent form from top to bottom, we do see some green. Rory and Fitzpatrick, but then you got 2 missed cuts there. An 8th and an 11th, a missed cut. Fitzpatrick with Fitzpatrick. Mark Hubbard. Okay, so actually maybe good recent form. Maybe it's just like there's just bad golfers that come into this. Oh, I need to put a value for blank. I do not like blanks being up. That course history doesn't really, it's not, I mean, there are not that many missed cuts. So actually that's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of golfers that are coming in with, you know what? I might eat my words here because there's a lot of green that's showing up with some missed cuts, by the way. You know, the green over here means they top 20'd under finish. Recent form is definitely something to look at, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely something to look at. Ooh. Yeah, last year the recent form really wouldn't have mattered because like a lot of these 12th place finishes aren't going to do you any good, or even the 18th place finishes. Last year was the worst year for recent form. Let's just throw that out there. Last year was the worst year for recent form. All the previous years before that, pretty good. You're just going to have to anticipate some of the best recent form in this field are going to miss the cut. But I think it's probably your best chance to get, looks like 3 or 4 golfers. And actually, let me pump the brakes there. So I don't know if you can play a lot of these golfers together. Looks like, what, Bryce Garnett and Sepp Straka were in a lineup together. There's Grazerman. So 7,200, there you go. 7,000 Mark Hubbard. $8,500 Dietrich, $9,700 Fitzpatrick, and $10,700 McIlroy. Okay, you actually could put a whole lineup together just looking at recent form. Same here. I mean, 11-1, 10-4. There's your 11-1 guys. $9,400 Wyndham Clark. So, I mean, you could have went... I think Patrick Cantlay and Xander were part of a GPP winning lineup here. But 9,400... 8,700 Taylor Moore. Yeah, 3 guys you could have put together here. So I think somewhere between 2 to 4 for good recent form looks like that's probably the way to go. So let's do that. Let's do that that exercise. Let's sort the best recent form top to bottom. We have the blanks on the bottom here. Oh, I got to figure out what I did there. Got to figure out what I did. Maybe I'll figure out what I did. That's awesome. Your best recent form golfers coming into this: Fitzpatrick, Silverman, Skins, Blades Brown. There's our guy, Blades Brown. Yellow Mirage. I like that. 9,500. I think when we were looking at all those lead-in stats, it's a lot of the expensive guys that were good, right? Looking at all the... Okay, here's a missed cut. Noren was 75. $9,400 Sergio. $8,000 McIntyre. Were there like cheap guys that finished inside the top 20? That's just 2022. 2025. Riley finished 72nd. Matt McCarty, $6,600, missed the cut. Valimaki missed the cut, $6,900. 79.65. So some of these cheap guys, not super great. Are there any cheap guys that played well? Rio, 18th. Hayden, 18th. No. That's just 2025. 2024. Any of the cheap guys? Schmid missed the cut. Moore missed the cut. Hubbard finished 3rd, 7,000. $7,400 Lauer finished 28th. $7,200 Grazerman finished 4th. Okay, so 7Ks look good. 6Ks I haven't seen inside the top 20 yet. Haas missed the cut. Gribble missed the cut. Chappell missed the cut. All 6K golfers. Stroud, 6K golfer, missed the cut. Michael Kim finished 19th. It's not really going to help you get it done. Okay. Well, I will say this too. Hold on. We went back to the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. Hubbard. Okay, that's 7,000. That was 2024. 2025. Lipsky and Kevin Velo. $6,800 and $6,300 Lipsky and Velo. So if I went back to 2025, I want to take a look. Where were these guys finish? Velo, right here. Terrible recent form. Terrible recent form. And Lipsky, terrible recent form. Wu was better. And Velo played with... Okay, let me do this. Velo played with Celinda, and Celinda had okay recent form. 52.25. That's not... It's not going to be in the top. Yeah, it's not even going to be in the middle. It's a little bit below middle. Okay. So, yeah, 6K golfers that don't have good recent form. Maybe that's what we look at. Yeah, some of these, the best recent form golfers in each of these fields are not, like that finish well, are not in the 6K range. Those are the guys that are missing the cut. Okay. All right, going back to the cheat sheet. So I would probably pass on Silverman. I'd pass on Skins. I say yes to Blades. 9K range is something to be concerned about, but I feel like Yellow Mirage is a good play. Him and Ryan Gerard are playing together. Springer's probably one of those that I would probably ignore. Brem is probably one of those I'd ignore. Smalley, maybe. Is Smalley playing with Springer? They're both $8,500. Smalley's playing with Springer. Okay. We have seen golfers with good recent, like two golfers that have good recent form together. We've seen them inside the top 20, but not, I can't say top 10. Adrian Dumont d'HSR, interesting play. John Perry, he's in my dummy lineup. I kind of like John Perry this week. Thigala's 92, Brooks is 10,000, Putnam 75. These are all names to consider, everybody. Streelman's also in my dummy lineup. I'm not sure if I feel comfortable, just based off of what we've seen with the patterns. Anyways, there's some interesting plays up here. Okay, anyways. We're at the 1 hour mark. Let's do the first roll call. I think I put all the heritage here. Yep. Okay. Roll call number 1. Who is your group? Who are you playing this week? What's the the team that you're playing, that you're anchoring your lineups around. Hey, by the way, we got to 25 likes last week. I don't think we're doing that this week. I did not give away memberships for that yet. I'm gonna wait till next week to do that, because I will not have a members only video tomorrow. I will not be streaming tomorrow night. For those that are members, just throwing that out there. I will not be having a stream tomorrow night. Primarily, one of the primary reasons for not having a stream tomorrow night is, like I said, I'm only building 10 lineups. So I'm not doing really that much this week. How many viewers do we have right now? 8? Only one person? Hey, make sure you hit the live button if you haven't. Okay, I think that's it for the that's it for the roll call. nobody cares. Okay, duly noted. Nobody cares. Let's see here. What do we got next? Oh, Lombardi Lee. Okay. I think we got some people behind. We can go, let's go into Marquee Tee Times, and then we'll finish here. We'll finish here with building some lineups, but let's do Marquee Tee Times. All right, so I kind of alluded to this earlier. Marquee Tee Times are hard this week. I'm going to show you what the Marquee Tee Times look like for the last 3 years of this event. So if I sort by group rank, that doesn't make a lick of sense. Tom Hoagie's partner quit or withdrew. I don't have him in here. I don't think I have any other filters that are applied. How many golfers do I have? 159. Who was Hoagie's partner last year? Chapel. Yep, there was a withdraw. I remember that. Chapel, and they were dead last. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so anyways, for group rank, here are the Marquee Tee Times. So last year you had Shane Lowry and Andrew Novak. $12,000, $9,700. Those guys were in a GPP winning lineup together. There was only one optimal lineup. Or one golfer that was, or one team that represented the optimal lineup. Ben Griffin and Shane Lowry were your guys that were in the Sweet Spot Optimal. That's it. So really it was just like one guy or two guys. 2024, if I put the same filters on, here are your Marquee Tee Times. Only one optimal lineup guy, or one team that represented the optimal lineup. That was Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy. Now, if you put them with the Fitzpatricks, you got a GPP winner. I did have 3 golfers that were in the Marquee Tee Times under these groups, or 3 teams. This is the weird thing about this team event. Instead of calling them golfers, you call them teams. There were 3 teams that were in the Sweet Spot Optimal that were a part of the Marquee Tee Times. That was in 2024 and 2023. Okay, we actually had we had 2 teams that represented the optimal lineup. Make that 3 teams. Okay. All 8K golfers, by the way. 87, 86, 85. 5 golfers from here were in the GPP winning lineup. Oh my God. Cantlay. And all 4 of those 8K. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Only 4 GPP winners. The Cantlay group, Taylor group, Riley group, and Fitzpatrick group. So it was the 11s into the 8s. Okay, so 2023 actually had quite a few golfers from the Marquee Tee Times in the optimal and GPP winning lineup. And actually we had 2. Okay, you know what? I guess it's worth looking at. I've seen enough where at least 2 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times were in the either in the GPP or the Sweet Spot Optimal. So here we go. Group 1. It's the Fitzpatricks with Koepka and Lowry. Group 2. Griffin Novak with Taylor Moore and Wyndham Clark. Group 3. Yellow Miraju and Gerard playing with Penge and Matt Wallace. That actually seems like a decent group. The Penge-Wallace group. Group 4 is Pendrith with Mac Hughes, Kevin Yu, and Tom Kim. I think they've played together a few times now, if I recall. Let me look. Kim, Tom. Did not play last year. 2024. Did not play. Tom Kim played with Siwoo Kim. Actually, hold on. This doesn't seem right. Only 1 time he's played. Never mind. I thought he played in more times than this. Nope. He played with Siwoo Kim. Okay. Duly noted. We have a returning team. Thorbjornsen and Phillips at 9,400 with Brennan and John Kiefer. Actually, I like that. Brennan, I think, is in my dummy lineup. Then we have Grazerman with Finau, probably the 2 golfers that are struggling the most right now, with Billy Horschel and Tom Hoagie. That's interesting because I do like Horschel and Hoagie. They're the ho-ho team. Matt McCarty, Mac Meisner, that's also a good team. William Mao and Takumi Kanaya. And then there is, in Group 8, we got our boy Blades Brown with Luke Clanton, Sahith Theegala with Aaron Rai. That Sahith Theegala, Aaron Rai team should be pretty good. And then the last group is Rico Hoey with David Lipsky and Jimmy Stanger with Danny Walker. So the Bombers, Stanger and Walker. That's interesting. You know what? I think I'm cool with sticking with the 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times. I think I absolutely am. These are good enough golfers, and they're also all the high price golfers. All right, we're gonna stick to it, guys. We're gonna stick with the Marquee Tee Times. I like how all these groups are paired up. There are enough golfers that really catch my eye. Like I do like the Blades Brown and Luke Clanton lineup or grouping. I also wouldn't mind dabbling in the Jimmy Stanger and Danny Walker group. I like the Ho-Ho group. Don't really care for Finau and Grazerman, although this could be a perfect get right type of event. Kiefer and Brennan I love. Phillips and Thorbjornsen pretty darn good. Don't really care for Tom Kim and Kevin Yu, but again, anything can happen. Hughes and Pendrith, Wallace, Marco Penge, that seems like a great group. I really like the Yellow Miraju and Ryan Gerard group. I mean, that's probably, if we're looking at rankings, they are the best group together. Those are the 2 best golfers in my model that are paired together. I actually had to boost up Brooks Koepka's points, and I had to boost up Alex Fitzpatrick's points. So that 8 and 4 together, their ranking together, That's the best cumulative rank. That's 12. It equals 12. The next closest would be Koepka and Shane Lowry, and that equals 16. We could make even the argument that Koepka could be 8th ranked in this, or maybe even a little bit better. I don't know. I don't know. But that yellow Mirage Gerard, oof, looks good. Okay. Now that you guys have this information, pause the video, take a screenshot, go to the cheat sheet that I provided you guys. You could do the exact same filtering on this that I just did. Go do that. Let's build some lineups. I'll build lineups for everybody. I'm not going to stay here that much longer. So we can go ahead and try our best at building lineups. Yeah. So again, I'm going to keep this little condition down here. These are the Marquee Tee Times. I'm going to keep this a 2 to 4. I kind of like it. Kind of like it. And like I was mentioning before, the most optimal lineup that the optimizer sees is Fitzpatrick, Thorbjornsen, Stevens, Schmid, Kirk, and Blades Brown. If we wanted to track the recent form golfers that are good, we have 3 of them that are 40th, average finishing position of 40 or better, which is interesting. I want to see what that looks like. 40 or better. So 3 of them here. Ooh, okay. We were doing an elite grouping. 44.6 would probably be our top. Ooh, there's Brennan down here at 45.67. Yeah, recent form 1s and 2s. Interesting. Is that kind of what we see? Oh, yeah. Yeah. 1s and 2s. Recent form 1s and 2s. I didn't even look at that before. But it is definitely that is the marquee groups. Recent form 1s and 2s. We went to the bucket system. What does it tell us for recent form 1 and 2? A very high success rate, but not a very high frequency rate. But 2s and 3s are 100% for frequency, but not so much for success. I wonder why. Recent form 1s. Oh, 2025 shows up now. What the hell? What? Oh, I need to go to the fantasy stats. That's what this is all about. The 10K. Oh my God. 2025 shows up. Were there not 10K golfers? Okay. All right. There's I gotta figure that out. All right. Recent form 1s. Why have we not seen a recent form 1 inside the top 10 every single year? That's what I want to know. I'm gonna do this really quick. 2025. Because Rory and Shane finished 12th. 2024, we have a winner. 2023, we have 2 top 5s. 2022, we have a second and a fourth. 2020, oh well, there's a first and a whatever. Don't have it in 2020. Don't have it in 2019. Oh, do I have 2019? So we had, oh yeah, there was an event in 2020. 2019, there's a first and a second. 2018, there's a 4th and a 7th. What the hell? 2nd and a 3rd. What is the frequency even looking at? Is it the... Okay, hold on. There was a 0 in 2025 and a 0 in 2020. We also have a 0 in 2015, 2014, and 2013. 2015, 2014, and 2013. So those years actually count as well. What the hell? 2015? Okay. 2014. Okay. 2013. 15th. Huh. Yeah, recent form 1s. I think we want at least one golfer from recent form 1s. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and lock that in, guys. Recent form 1. I want at least 1. And I would have to change my exposure for all the recent form 1s. And this is kind of the way I would do it. Put a filter on. Just click into that cell that you want to add a filter to. And just put in like recent form 1s. We only have 3? Okay, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Be recent form 1s and 2s. That's what we would want to put. That's what it is. Recent form 1s and 2s. So the golfers all in this group would have to equal at least 100%, but we would want over 100%, which if we're being honest, this has it all. This equals 273%. And why that matters, when you add all of them up together, that's kind of giving you out of the 6 golfers you can put in a lineup. If it's over 100%, that means at least 1. You can have at least 1 be in a lineup. If it's over 200, you can have at least 2 because you're double, 100% plus 100%, 200%. You kind of have to add each group or each golfer. So you have 6 golfers for a max of 600%. So just figure it out that way. If this equaled 600%, then we'd allow the optimizer to pick 6 golfers from the recent form 1 group, but as it is right now, I think this all looks good. Yellow Mirage is at 21%. That's fine. Actually, it's at 20.73, which is that's okay. That's going to be 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 lineups. Same with Michael Thorbjornsen. Brooks Koepka's just at a flat 20. Fitzpatrick's at 27.45. Thigala's at 18. Smalley's at 25. I'm actually cool with all of this. I'm actually going to get out of here. I don't think I have to worry about putting a 1 in here. We're not going to put a 1. We're not going to put a 1. So we're actually going to remove all of that. I'm going to take back everything I said. I actually love group golf, says Logan. Michael Kennedy says Brooks and Shane 100%. And Thigala and Rye. All right. Give me 2 golfers you'd like me to build lineups around. 2 to 4 golfers you want me to build lineups around. I'm going very random teams just to hopefully catch a miracle. Love it. Wheels up, missed roll call. Logan, I'm going to run a subscriber. Well, I'm going to give away 5 memberships next week because we hit 25 likes on last week's video. So that is awesome. And if we get to 25 likes on this video, which I mean, I just don't see how that's possible. We're not going to have a lot of golf. We're not going to have a lot of people watching this one. I don't think a lot of people are going to be playing this week. But if we can get to 25 likes, I will also give away another 5 YouTube memberships. All right, so AJ with McCarty and Gerard. McCarty and Gerard. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. Instead of McCarty and Gerard, you're picking someone from group 7 and you are picking, where's our boy? From group 3. So instead, I'm going to come down here to group 3 and put 1, and group 7, I'm going to put 1. That way, with all the buckets and stuff, I mean, I still do have differences of maxes on here. So I'm just going to keep it like this, and then we will build you 5 lineups. I'm going to keep this. Yeah, let me double check that I have this saved over here. And probably going to do 100% down to the 9K range, 33% down to the 8K range. No, let's do 25%. I'm actually going to go 33% in the 9K range, or 50. Let's do 50. 50% is good. Okay. Here we go. First lineup. Do it next week for the normies. Absolutely. All right. So we have 0 dupes. We have a golfer, 1 golfer representing each of the teams here. We got Gerard, Thorbjornsen, Smalley, Stevens, William Au, Chris Kirk. Not terrible. Next lineup we get is Fitzpatrick, Yellow Miraju, Keith Mitchell, Matty Schmid, Takumi Kanai, and Blades Brown. I like that lineup. Good lineup. Next lineup is Gerard, Thorbjornsen, McCarty, Grazerman, Bezadenhout, and Chad Ramey. Sure. Chad Ramey is kind of a course history dude. Next lineup is Fitzpatrick, Yellow Miraju, Mac Meisner, Vince Whaley, Horschel, and Carson Young. Pretty good. And the last one here is Gerard, Thorbjornsen, McCarty, Sam Stevens, Yeager, and Lee Hodges. Who's Lee Hodges playing with? Bryce Garnett. Hey, that's fine. Bryce Garnett is he's done well at this event. There you go, man. There's 5 lineups for AJ. Cool. All right. Our next one. Yellow Miraju and Suber. Okay. Well, this is going to be a bit more narrow than the other ones because you're grabbing a golfer that is not in a Marquee Tee Time. Group 3. Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure. Group and Suber. Who's Suber playing with? Mr. Yeager? Mr. Yeager Bombs? Okay. We get Yellow Miraju, Thigala, Mitchell, Grazerman, Schmid, and Suber. That's solid. Griffin, Gerard, Thorbjornsen, Suber, Blades Brown, and Chandler Phillips. Okay. Fitzpatrick, Yellow Miraju, Thigala, Suber, Gim, and Mark Hubbard. Who's Mark Hubbard playing with? Ryan Brem. All right. Don't hate it. Gerard Thorbjorn. Okay, so that's a lot of Thorbjornsen, yeah? 50%. He is playing with Phillips, so that kind of counts there. Like no Pension Wallace. All right, let's do this. Bump those down to 33%. I'm going to run it again. Fitzpatrick, Wallace. Oh, look at that. Just speak of the devil. Fitzpatrick, Wallace, Stevens, Mitchell, Suber, and Davis Riley. Ooh, I don't know about Davis Riley. Who's he playing with? It would be great if it's Nick Hardy. Tell me it's Nick Hardy. Yes, it is Nick Hardy. Hell yeah. I love that. I don't want him. All right, now we get Fitzpatrick, Wallace, Stevens, Suber, Bezadenhout, and Chris Kirk. Don't hate it. And last lineup is Fitzpatrick, Wallace, Mitchell, Lipsky, Suber, Horschel. Okay. Sure. I want to run another one. I want to see what else we get here. Still sticking with Wallace. This lineup, though, is pretty solid. I mean, I don't really care for Grazerman, but, Yeah. By not caring about Grazerman, I really mean I don't care about Finau. And I don't really care for Lipsky. Get out of here. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see your face. Oh, here's a balanced build for you. Thigala, Wallace, Wyndham Clark, Schmid, Suber, Smotherman. Sure. There you go. Take a screenshot if you want. Go ahead and delete that last one. Thanks. Super plays like a superstar one round, then falls apart over the weekend. Maybe team golf will serve his boomer bust style. Maybe. All right. Are there any other lineups that people want built? Any other lineups? Let me know, let me know, let me know. I will be getting out of here very shortly. Very shortly. I think what I want to do, let's see. I do like Yellow Miraju and Ryan Gerard, so I would still stick group 3. I would still stick to group 3. I like that. I do like the Fitzpatrick group. I don't mind going there. Marco Penge and Matt Wallace seems like a pretty decent lineup as well. Not really feeling the Haotong Jordan Smith. Actually, let's go back. Cheat sheet. I want to pick golfers from up here. Who do I want to really anchor my lineups around? There's Fitzpatrick. I do like that. Actually, if I go back to lead and stats, the guys with the best recent form, like the best, the top guy. So 2025. Our top guy was Rory. He finished 12th. He was in the GPP winning lineup. Okay. That was Rory at 12-4. The best golfer in the field. In 2024, Xander finished 23rd. Rory was there again, 10-7. Pretty good, 19.6. What was this in 2025? 5.5. 2023. Cantlay came in with the best recent form, 9.8. Finished 4th. 2022. Best recent form guy coming in was Adam Hadwin. He missed the cut. We did have Zalatoris and Billy Horschel down here with really good recent form that did finish 2nd and 4th. Okay. Fitzpatrick is the only, Fitzpatrick's the only guy I would select out of these guys. I do not care about Silverman or David Skins. Blades Brown's interesting. So is Sudarshan. Have we seen? I mean, yeah. Look at. I mean, there's a bunched. It's bunched right here. It's 2022, 2023. It's also bunched. 2024, also bunched. Mid though, that kind of scares me. Now the 7K golfers here, that kind of scares me. But it's pretty bunched. 2025, not really bunched at all. $8,400 disappointed, 10-7 disappointed, 95 disappointed, 66 disappointed, 69 disappointed. Okay. Yeah, Thorbjornsen just seems like a really good pick. John Perry. No course history. What did we see with no course history? I didn't even look. Missed cut. 2025, 2024. First place for Rory. Razorman, 7,200. Fourth place. 32nd place for Nikolai in 2023. 26 for MJ Duffy. 76 for, or missed cut for Harry Hall. Zalatoris at 8,900. Brandon Wu at 69. Okay, so, ooh, I don't know. Newbies aren't super great, even with good recent form. Throwing that out there. We just look at the salary board with the finishes. Course history, we did have Tom Lewis, 9,200. 10K golfers. Scotty played with Bubba Watson in 2021. Yikes. That must have been difficult. Oh, we have Garrick Higo, not with good recent form though. Lipsky and Rye. I imagine Rye and Lipsky played together, or Rye and Higo played together, and Lipsky and Neesmith played together. Oh, no. $7,300 golfers. You have the South Africans, and who knows? Okay. So not playing here isn't that big of a deal. Brendan Matthews, 6,500. Kim, 97. So the 9K golfers, kind of where it's at with people who've not played here. $7,200 Grazerman and Echeverria both hadn't played here before. One was coming in with good recent form. Okay. Knapp and Sappin both hadn't played here before. Bad recent form. Oh boy. Okay. Velo and okay, so yeah. I don't want to get trapped in like a John Perry. 7,600, good recent form, just in the 7K range. Same kind of goes with Blades Brown. Might be a trap. But Yellow Mirage, I think it's full guns blazing with Yellow Mirage. God, that group seems so good. Kind of digging Thorbjornsen. Let's look at course history with recent form. Top of recent form with good course history. I'm gonna get rid of the no. No, let's. Jeez, get out of here. Get out. Go on and get. There. Now it's good. All right. Yeah, Rory, that's pretty good. Higo missed the cut, 8,400. Riley, 32nd place. Aaron Rye, finished 18th. That's okay. It's not great. Again, I'm looking at good recent form with good course history. Xander, 23rd. Not good. But Alex Fitzpatrick, 11th. That's pretty good. That's because of, you know, Matt. But there's Matt there. Yeah, 11th. That's good. Dietrich, 8,500. That's good recent form and good course history. With one finish, obviously. But still, that's fine. Taylor Moore missed the cut. That's a $7,700 golfer. Okay, one missed cut there. We'd call that good course history with Matty Schmidt. Okay. 2023. Xander with good course history and good recent form finished 4th. 4th for Taylor Moore, 8,700. Okay, so it's kind of a hodgepodge of finishes. 2022. I'm just really looking at the green course history with the green recent form. And kind of like, even this would be pretty good. Horschel. Okay. Missed cut for Tommy, 9,400. Okay. So Some like Thorbjornsen, this is fine. I wouldn't play him more than 50%, I guess. Because we did see, so he's $9,400. We did see that, didn't we? A missed cut for a 9K golfer with good course history, and there's Scotty, finished 18th. Fleetwood. It's kind of our guy, right? That would be similar to this week's. Well, that's 37 and 4. I'm looking, I'd have to be looking down here. Golfers coming in this week versus 2022. A terrible recent form this week. 2022, golfers were coming in with some decent recent form. Decent. 2023. Be like Justin Suh or even Aaron Rai. Okay, 13th place isn't terrible. 2024. Now looking here with Fitzpatrick, that's good. Or Taylor Moore, 70. No, we want 9K golfers. So, I mean, Dietrich still also kind of fits that. Yeah, I think that's our Michael Thorbjornsen. I know I'm being very specific with my searching here, but that's what I'm trying to do, is be very specific. Aaron Rai, 9,200. Yeah. I'm cool with Thorbjornsen. Yellow Miraju and Thorbjornsen. I feel like that's a great combo to build lineups around. Yellow Miraju right here. Thorbjornsen down here. Your best recent form coming into the field, like group-wise, team-wise, is Smalley and Springer. They're both right here. Just a hodgepodge from there. Okay, whatever. Those are probably going to be my favorite combo, or even a Fitzpatrick with Yellow Miraju or Fitzpatrick with Thorbjornsen. Those seem pretty good. Even if I wanted to put Brooks or Shane Lowry, because Brooks is right here, I think that's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, those are my favorite combos. My favorite combos. Let's save your guys' lineups. I'm gonna save these over here. You know what, AJ? I'll build you another lineup if you want one. Fitz and Smalley. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind doing one more. So Fitz there, and Smalley's group is they're not in the Marquee Tee Times. Interesting. Okay. I think a lot of data nerds took the week off. I agree. I was thinking about taking the week off, by the way. 10, 9, 8, and 3 7s. Fitzpatrick, Griffin, Smalley, Whaley, Ramey, Gim. Fitzpatrick, McCarty, Smalley, Schmid, Lipsky, Ramey. That's all right. Fitzpatrick, Smalley, Stevens, Mitchell, Lipsky, and Blades Brown. There we go. 10, 3 8s, and 2 7s. All right. You can't find the course info on data or on golf data? You mean data golf? You can find course history at SweetSpotDFS.com. Fitzpatrick, Thorbjornsen, Smalley, Grazerman, William Mao, and Davis Riley. That's a hell of a lineup. 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. And then the last lineup here, Fitzpatrick, Thigala, love it. Smalley, Smotherman, William Mao, and Adrian Dumont de Cesar. That's a solid lineup. Solid. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Good. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. I used to try. Oh, my goodness. What was I doing with this? This is an old optimizer. I mean, it's the same optimizer, but it still has old stuff in it. What was I doing? I have no idea. I don't care. You monster. There we go. Save those over there. Delete these. Now, what do I want to do? I am interested. Oh God, group 1. I didn't even realize that. That could have picked Koepka or Lowry, and when I was doing those other lineups, that could have picked somebody else. Whoopsies. I do want. I mean, if we were to do balanced, it'd be group 4 and group 5. So one here, one there. Fitzpatrick, Thorbjornsen. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who's in group 5? Did I not do that? Group 4 and group 5. Oh, yeah. This is what I'm talking about. There's a different group 5 down here. Or group 4. Or was it group 4? Was it not supposed to be group 4? Was it supposed to be group 3? It's supposed to be group 3. That makes sense. Group 3. Group 3 and group 5. There we go. Thorbjornsen and Gerard, which is going to be Yellow Mirage. 3 9s, 3 7s. I would much rather. Who is Kirk playing with? Kirk is with Pat. No way. I mean, hey, I can't say this anymore. I've done this so many times throughout the last few weeks, and I've had the worst stretch of DFS I've ever had, where I'm like, can't do that, won't do it, no thank you, these golfers suck, and then they end up finishing 10th through 20th, somewhere in there, and they would be good golfers to build lineups around. For the sake of this video, I don't want to put those guys together. 9-9, 8-8, 7-7. This lineup here fits everything that I'm looking for. Stevens, Mitchell, Matty Schmid. I like Matty Schmid, and Blades Brown. Yep. Love that. Ooh. It skipped. I've never. Wait a minute. It didn't. Oh, it's just a different golfer in group 3 and group 5. It has Brennan now. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. Fitzpatrick, Yellow Mirage. It's incorporating the percentages. That's why. So it won't go over 100%. So like Thorbjornsen, I'd have to put at 100 to make sure it always picks. But this is a good lineup right here. Fitzpatrick, Yellow Mirage, Brennan, Bezainhout, Whaley, and Billy Horschel. I actually kind of like that. I have to put my golfers here at 100%. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's what you could do with this optimizer, by the way. So it's going to pick golfers from group 5. You could set group 5, these golfers down here, to a lower number, like 10% or whatever. And every once in a while, it'll grab golfers from here. But most likely, it'll grab golfers from up here. In group 3, I mean, shoot, I wouldn't mind it grabbing some from the Penge Wallace group. Hell yeah, sign me up, actually. I think what I would still do is like 50, 50, and keep that there. Okay. Yeah, dude, I would be cool with that. I think I figured out what I want to do. I'd probably limit how much 9K golfers I'd put in the lineup sometimes. So I'd just do this. Like just set it to 2 for 9Ks. Wow. 1099. 766. That's not terrible. It's not terrible. Probably wouldn't want to continue building lineups like this though. I don't trust that many 6Ks. And we could set that down here to put 1. Don't do that again. 998, 3 7s. Willie Mao. Austin Smotherman, Grazerman, Smalley. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Oh, that had 0 recent. Oh, yeah. Oh, Matt Fitzpatrick is our only recent Form 1 golfer. That's why. Gerard, Thorbjornsen, Smalley, Mitchell, Lipsky, and Carson Young. Let's try a different one. Gerard, Thorbjornsen, Smalley, Mitchell, Lipsky, Phillips. Now, come on. That's Carson Young's team, I'm guessing. There we go. Gerard, Thorbjornsen, Stevens, Mitchell, Lipsky, and Dumont Deschessar. Do I really care about Hoey and Lipsky? That actually might be an okay lineup. It might be okay. I'll save it. Why not? It might be okay. Using your old model is like using something open and trying to figure out what you were doing. It's probably like flipping open your gratitude journal. Alice in Wonderland kind of deep dive. I don't know how to answer that or how to respond to that. AJ, do you like the Streelman group? I do. He is in my dummy lineup. Kevin Streelman's in my dummy lineup, and that was like, I looked at 0 data and I just put together a lineup with some studs. I'll tell you what my lineup is. It's Novak. Is it Jordan Smith? Really? Okay. It is Novak, Jordan Smith, Matt McCarty, Michael Brennan, John Perry, and Kevin Streelman. That's my dummy lineup. And I picked that dummy lineup because I knew Novak and Griffin are best friends. And they did well. I mean, they're defending champs. Not that that has anything to do with why I picked them, but they've done well here, obviously. Matt McCarty, I don't know why I picked Matt McCarty. Just seemed like this could be a place that him and Mac Meisner might do well at. And I really like Brennan and Kiefer, Michael Brennan and Johnny Kiefer together. I also wanted, I just felt like an Englishman would probably do well here. So I think I went with John Perry because of that. Also, his recent form was really good. I think that's what I did. It was based off of recent form. I did look at something. I looked at this. I don't think Andrew Novak is up here, but I think I sorted out by recent form. Or maybe not. I don't. What did I do? I think I just picked Novak and Griffin because they are good friends. Jordan Smith? Why did I pick Jordan Smith and Houghton? This makes no sense. I don't know why I picked those guys. Matt McCarty and Meisner? I don't know why I picked those guys either. Okay, never mind. Whatever I just said doesn't apply. It doesn't make any sense. I thought I knew, but I don't. Anyways, Streelman, yeah. Logan, I tried to find any data edges I can, but this year my course history narrative hasn't been working out too well. See, Palmer is playing. Yeah. Funny story. So, it's not so much funny, I guess. It's not that big of a deal. Ryan Gerard, one of his good friends is David Ford. David Ford got an injury. So let's put that out there. David Ford has an injury that he's working through. So Gerard was without a golfer. He reached out to like 5 people, one of them being Smiley Kaufman. Smiley Kaufman put him on his podcast and was like, hey, hold on. Please tell the audience what was going on. Why did you reach out to me? And Gerard had made a comment. He goes, so because my partner David Ford had to withdraw, couldn't play, I needed to find another partner. And so he reached out to the PGA Tour and said, hey, who can I choose? There is a list of, I think 600 golfers, maybe 400, but I think it's 600 golfers. That basically it was a list that was handed to Gerard or emailed to Gerard. Gerard could pick any golfer from that list. It is anybody that has played on the PGA Tour over the last 10 years, basically. So anybody who has been a PGA Tour member, whether it was limited or full-time, anybody can select those golfers. So that's, if Ryan Palmer, I don't know who Ryan Palmer is in the, like who he's playing with. There he is. He's got to be playing with, was it Cam Davis? No, it's got to be somebody. He's playing with Chan Kim. Wow, of all the people, this must have been like, hey, one of you guys is eligible to play in this event. Who do you choose? And it was probably Chan Kim, honestly. He probably has more favor. He's higher in the OWGR. That's for certain. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Ryan Palmer reached out to Chan Kim and was like, hey, if you need a partner, let it be me. I don't know. He is. He chose right, I say. All right, guys. I am going to take off. These were interesting lineups. I guess I'll keep these down here. We'll see. I will not be live tomorrow. Will not be live tomorrow. No members only videos. This was it. This was the only video. It's the Zurich. People take the Zurich off. I chose not to, but also I'm not putting a lot of effort into this week. So, anywho's, that's gonna be it for me, guys. Let's do this. Let's bring this over here. You like Roy and McGreevy? Cool. This is it, man. I'm done. Reach out to me if you want. Right, the contact information just went by. SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com. If you got any other questions, if you want the optimizer, I can send it to you. That's it for me, guys. Good luck this week. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.